The sound of rolling suitcases echoes through the polished floor. Screens flash departure times. A calm but commanding figure walks in. Naomi Carter. Naomi Carter, one of the youngest black female CEOs in America, adjusted her blazer. Her presence drew glances, not because of her looks, but because of her aura, quiet power. At the counter, the attendant didn't even look up at first. "Economy check-in is to the left, ma'am." Naomi raised a brow, sliding forward a first-class boarding pass. "Strange. My ticket says otherwise." The attendant's smile faltered. Passengers waiting nearby glanced at Naomi, whispering. A few smirked, others nudged each other. Naomi's tone was steady, calm but edged with steel. Respect doesn't require upgrades, but arrogance has consequences. Discrimination rarely screams. Sometimes it hides, in a tone, in a glance, in a careless word meant to shrink you. And when it shows itself, the question is never about tickets or seats. The real question is, will you rise or will you bow? Inside the plane, Naomi's heels clicked on the carpeted aisle. A few passengers stared. One businessman muttered under his breath, "She must have used points." People like her don't usually belong in first class. Naomi sat, crossing her legs with elegance. Her silence was louder than any retort. The flight attendant, Leah Brooks, approached nervously. "Ms. Carter, welcome aboard. Can I help you settle in?" Naomi gave her a warm but sharp smile. "No, thank you. I'm perfectly fine." Sometimes the battle isn't fought with fists or fury. Sometimes the sharpest weapon is poise. A glass clinked. Conversations hushed as Richard Hale appeared from the aisle, CEO of Skyline Airways. His presence carried arrogance, polished by years of unchecked authority. "Well, if it isn't Naomi Carter, the prodigy CEO, thought you'd be too busy managing your little empire to sit among us." Naomi tilted her head, lips curving slightly. Richard, still mistaking arrogance for charm? Some things never change. His chuckle was loud, meant to entertain those listening. "You'll realize one day, power is temporary." Naomi's gaze didn't flinch. So is impunity. Passengers shifted, phones angled discreetly, recording. The balance of the cabin had changed. The truth doesn't need volume to be heard. It only needs courage. And in that cabin, courage was beginning to rise. Halfway through the flight, Leah Brooks approached Naomi again, hands trembling. "Ms. Carter, I need to tell you something." Naomi leaned forward slightly, her eyes narrowing. "Go ahead," Leah whispered, her voice barely audible. "There are files, memos, documents showing, a system, orders that certain passengers, people of color, were to be treated as second priority. Richard Hale authorized them." Naomi's jaw hardened. "Thank you, Leah. That truth is going to matter." Nearby passengers caught fragments. Buzz grew, whispers thickened like storm clouds. It begins with one whisper, then another, until whispers swell into a storm, and storms cannot be silenced. The plane touched down in New York. For passengers, the flight had ended. But for Naomi, it was just beginning. Within hours, she walked into Skyline Airways' corporate boardroom. Richard Hale sat at the head of the table, smirking as though nothing could touch him. But Naomi was not alone. At her side stood Marcus Reed, her legal counsel. In front of her lay a stack of documents. Naomi's voice rang sharp and clear. "Here are the reports. Passenger complaints, employee grievances, and financial incentives signed by you, Richard. You didn't just allow bias, you engineered it. Richard scoffed. This is slander, a desperate attempt to tarnish my name. Naomi leaned closer, every syllable deliberate. No, Richard, this isn't slander. This is evidence. The room froze. Board members exchanged uneasy looks. There comes a moment when arrogance collides with truth. And arrogance never wins that collision. Thomas Grant, a senior board director, broke the silence. Richard, are these documents genuine? Richard's face flushed. They're, taken out of context. Naomi slid another page across the table. Context doesn't change signatures. Context doesn't erase years of patterns. Skyline didn't just sell flights. It sold dignity for profit. The weight of her words suffocated the room. Injustice thrives only in silence. But the moment silence breaks, injustice begins to crumble. The board huddled briefly. Whispers sharpened, paper shuffled. When they returned, the decision was swift. Richard Hale, suspended indefinitely. Investigations launched. Reforms announced. Naomi didn't gloat. She simply gathered her files, her voice calm but firm. To every passenger, silenced. To every employee, dismissed. To everyone told they didn't belong. This isn't just justice. This is a promise. Change begins now. The New York skyline glowed at sunset. Billboards read, Skyline Airways, a new era. Naomi Carter's stand reshapes airline industry. At a press conference, Naomi addressed a sea of flashing cameras. Reform isn't a gift. It's a responsibility. Equality isn't optional. It's essential. From this day forward, dignity will never again be an upgrade. It will be standard. Applause roared. Naomi's expression was steady, not triumphant. That day, Naomi Carter proved what history has always whispered, that respect is not requested. It is required. That silence is not weakness. It is waiting. And when one voice rises, it can ignite 1,000 more. Because in the end, what truly takes flight is dignity.